Hello beautiful people, and welcome back to my channel with Angie K, where we talk about all things mental health. I've just been kind of catching you guys up on where I've been in life and some of the things that I am working on and some of the things that are being revealed to me in my current season, and just hoping that they connect or resonate with you. If you know me, you know that I am the working girlies. At one point in my life, I had 4 jobs at one time. And when I started PhD school and we moved, I took a year off from working in order to really get acclimated with the program, which I thought was a good idea. And then I got back into working full time. It has always been a dream of mine to work in a prison. I don't know what intrigued me about that. I think it was, oh, I hit my step goal. I think what it was is like my love for Criminal Minds and Law and Order. But I started working in a prison. Was not what I thought it was going to be, and I really was kind of holding on to working there simply because, number one, I was like, we like nice things, we like to go shopping, we like to go on trips, we like to buy ourselves frivolous things from Target and Amazon, and so we need a job. And I stayed simply because I like a paycheck. So I had to really check myself at one point and say, is this environment serving me? Is it providing me with what I need? And the answer was no. So I ended up leaving that job a couple of months ago. I think at this point now it's been 2 months that I left working at the prison I was at. I had some other interviews and got offered 2 other jobs, but I turned them down, which is crazy. Y'all, I have done 2 things that I've never done in my whole life. I've never turned down a job, and I've never quit a job without having something else lined up. Like, I've never done those 2 things. And I'm in a space right now where what is most important to me is cultivating a life surrounded by who I want to be. And if I'm not currently her in various aspects of my life, how do I get there? And I don't think I get there by engaging in things that don't serve me. So I really had to evaluate what it was that I wanted and what that looked like and why I was staying in environments that didn't fit that person. So I'm just going to give y'all 5 signs that you are in an environment that is not serving you. And I ask you that you really take inventory of what areas in your life, even if it's not just your career, what areas of your life do you find yourself repeating these 5 things in? So the first way to recognize if something is no longer serving you is to read your body, like scan your body, and see if you constantly feel exhausted. Do you constantly feel drained when you leave your workplace? Do you feel drained before you even get there? Are you dreading stepping into the building so much so that you are just like lollygagging around in the morning? What is your energy level and your capacity level either before or after you leave your workplace? And if you're not taking inventory of that, I highly suggest that you do. Because 9 times out of 10, we feel it, we just don't associate it with the environment that we're in. So we just get home and we're like, oh, I'm so exhausted from the day. And we're just thinking that every day has to be this rigorous thing that causes emotional and mental strain. And it doesn't. It does not. I am getting used to saying that I am no longer ascribing to a life where things have to be hard. I'm just not. I don't know where we get that mentality from. I understand that you do have to work hard for things. That does not necessarily mean that life has to be hard. And I think we get the 2 mixed up, and the 2 are not synonymous. They do not work hand in hand. One is different from the other. So I am in a place where I am no longer looking for life to be hard. I understand I have to work hard. Doesn't mean I have to have a hard life. Number 2, do you feel anxious in your workplace, and do you avoid contact with certain people in your workplace? Prime example, there have been many a days that I would walk into my workplace and intentionally scurry by the front office simply because I didn't want to deal with the people in it. Not that there was anything wrong with the people. Actually, yes, there was. Supervisors at my previous workplace were not my cup of tea. So asking yourself, do I feel anxious and do I avoid people in my workplace? And that's going to tell you a lot there too, because it's going to make you ask yourself, why am I avoiding these people and why do I feel so anxious? I was avoiding my supervisor because I felt like at any given moment I was going to be asked to do more work and I was already drowning. The minute you see my face, you're going to ask me to do something and I'm barely keeping up with what I already have, which then makes me scale back and go, well, where is the balance in workload? Are you being overworked? The answer was yes. Are your needs being met by your supervisor? or by your workplace? The answer was no. Do you feel supported? The answer was no. So really asking myself the original question of, do I feel anxious and avoidant in my workplace? And then really going down the list as to why do I feel anxious and avoidant in my workplace? Also shed light on this environment is no longer serving me. Number 3 is, do you find yourself questioning your purpose or effectiveness in your workplace? So do you find yourself showing up to work saying like, what am I even doing here? Or nothing I do really counts or matters? Or having that conversation with yourself about not really loving the work you're doing. And if you used to love the work you're doing, but in this workspace, you no longer love the work you're doing, red flag, get out of there. Because that's not a testament to your will to do the work. That's a testament to the environment that is created in that space. So if you're trying to figure out if an environment is serving you, ask yourself, do you find your spirit feeling purposeless? Do you find yourself feeling as though you are not useful or valid in that place? And if so, why is that? And did you once before feel effective or valid or purposeful in that same space? Number 4, do you find yourself venting about work outside of work? Do you find yourself going out to get margs with people, margaritas, having Taco Tuesday, sitting with your spouse or whatever, and you find yourself constantly venting about the work environment, being unhappy in your work environment, something your supervisor did, something a coworker did, something a patient did? Do you find yourself constantly irritable with work? And if the answer is yes, that means your work environment consumes so much of your mental and emotional space that you don't know how to let it go or drop it off. Unhealthy. That number 1 is a testament to your work environment, but it's also number 2, a testament to your ability to separate work and home. So it's a little bit of the work environment, but it's also a little bit of your self-awareness, because I want us all to remember that we are more than just our job titles. Okay. And so often we get caught up in that we are in this rigorous work. So really taking inventory of those things. Do you find yourself, back to number 4, do you find yourself constantly consumed with venting about work in any given space or opportunity? Because child, that kind of gossip in your spirit is not serving your higher self. Just know that it's not doing your higher self no good to talk about that workplace 24/7. Check that.
Now check that.
Number 5, do you feel aligned with your higher self when you step into that place? I know it is going to sound so silly, but really I've also challenged that language too, because what I'm saying is not silly. What I'm saying is valid. When I found myself stepping into that prison, not being able to wear my cute little outfits, not being able to bring in my Starbucks drink, not being able to bring in my little swig water, and I had to bring in this gallon of water like I was playing high school field hockey because I couldn't put it in a cute cup. It had to be sealed. I really was not feeling like my higher self. I was feeling imprisoned, and I had not committed no crimes. And so I think that environment was not working for me because of who I am as a person, right? I enjoy putting on my cute little pumps and my pencil skirt or my jeans and heels and wearing things that fit my body and that make me feel good. And in that environment, which I do understand because of the population, there are some things that I wasn't able to wear or that just wouldn't be received appropriately by the population. And I could go down a rabbit hole about what kind of culture that's creating for men in prison to assume that because a woman dresses a certain way, that is a certain kind of invitation. Don't get me started on that because that is not what this video is about. But I will say it just didn't work in my work setting. And one little person that is coming in and saying there's something wrong with it wasn't going to make any noise, even though I constantly said it. Because who's finna shut me up? I'll wait. Anywho, I was realizing that it wasn't serving me to dress in a way that did not fuel my spirit. I am a firm advocate of dress for success, and whatever success looks like for you, I want you to dress like it. Whatever your professional identity looks like, I want you to be able to display that. And so that environment did not do that for me. I couldn't have my cute little coffee cups. I couldn't have my cute little water cups. I just felt like a dark blob. if I'm honest, and I was tired of feeling that way. So it just wasn't working for many reasons. So those are the 5 ways to assess whether or not something is serving you, and the 5 ways that I have used to assess if that work environment was serving me before I left it. So let's go over them one more time before I get off here for the day. Number 1, do you feel drained before you even start work, or do you leave work feeling completely exhausted? Number 2, are you anxious and avoidant in your workplace? Number 3, do you find yourself questioning your effectiveness or purpose when you walk into your workspace? Number 4, are you consumed with work outside of work? And number 5, does your workspace align with your higher self or your aspirational self? So those are my 5 tips on how to assess if something is serving you. So take these tips, don't only apply them to your workplace, but apply them to other areas of your life, and recognize that every day we should be aiming to be our most authentic, aspirational, higher selves. And if things you're doing do not fall in line with that person, let it go. Because greater things are waiting to fall into place, but they can't fall into place until you remove what's no longer serving you. So with that being said, if you like this video, if you are enjoying my content, like and subscribe, and then follow me on any social media platform at with Angie K. And I will see y'all beautiful humans next time. Like and subscribe, support your girl. Bye-bye.